soft wind, distant wolves, sparse strings. There is an old Dalish curse, one spoken quietly, one spoken carefully, one spoken only when the night grows deep and the fire burns low. May the dread wolf never find your scent. Among the Dalish, every child learns certain names before they learn their history. The name of Mithal, the name of Elgarnan, and the name that should never be spoken lightly, Fen'Harel, the dread wolf. It is a strange name when you think about it. Wolves are not feared in most elven stories. They are guides, hunters, protectors, creatures of instinct and wisdom. Yet somewhere in the distant past, one wolf became something else entirely, a warning, a curse, a shadow cast across centuries. Ask a Dalish keeper who brought ruin upon the ancient elves, and they will give you the same answer their teachers gave them. Fen'Harel, the betrayer, the deceiver, the god who turned upon his own people and shattered their world. It is a story told around campfires, a story carried across generations, a story so old that many have stopped questioning it. But stories change, they simplify, they smooth away rough edges, and over the years I have spent studying the oldest surviving accounts, I have found something troubling. The deeper one digs into the legend of Fen'Harel, the less certain it becomes. Tonight, I will tell you the story as it has been passed down, and then I will show you the places where it breaks. The oldest Dalish tales speak of an age before the world became what it is now, an age when gods walked openly among the elves. These gods were known as the Evenuris, the mighty rulers of the ancient people, warriors, hunters, kings, queens, figures so powerful that even now their names survive in prayers and songs. Yet beyond them existed another power, the Forgotten Ones, ancient beings remembered only in fragments, dark figures lurking at the edge of surviving records. The Dalish rarely speak of them. Some believe even remembering them invites their attention. Between these two forces, the ancient elves lived, protected by their gods, guided by powers greater than themselves. And among those powers walked one who never truly belonged to either side, Fen'Harel, the wolf. The tales describe him differently from the others. He possessed no great kingdom, no grand temple, no singular domain over sun or sky or sea. Instead, he walked between things, between loyalties, between worlds, between certainty and doubt. In the oldest stories, he is called a trickster. Today, that word sounds insulting, but once it carried another meaning. The trickster was not merely a liar. The trickster was the one who found paths others could not see, the one who solved impossible problems by refusing to play by ordinary rules. Yet whatever that word once meant, history remembers him differently, because according to the Dalish, there came a day when Fen'Harel betrayed everyone. The tale says he approached the Evenuris first. He told them a glorious kingdom awaited them, a place beyond the reach of their enemies, a realm where they would rule forever. Then he approached the Forgotten Ones, and he told them almost exactly the same thing. A prison prepared for their foes, a final victory, a trap from which their enemies could never escape. Both sides believed him. Both walked willingly toward the fate he had prepared. And when the doors closed, neither side returned. The Dalish have a phrase for this betrayal, a betrayal that could only be committed by a friend, because only a friend can lead you somewhere a stranger never could. The gods vanished, the world changed, and the elves were left behind, without their protectors, without the age they once knew. That is the legend, simple, complete, a story with a villain, a wound, and an explanation for everything that followed. For many years, I believed it too. Then I began studying the oldest surviving records, and something unusual emerged. Something that separates Fen'Harel from every other figure in the ancient stories. His relationship with the Fade. Every god possessed a sphere of influence. Some ruled over war, others over death, others over the hunt. But Fen'Harel's connection appears different, more intimate, more difficult to define. The oldest accounts describe someone who knew the Fade not as a visitor knows a foreign city, but as a man knows the house he was born in. That distinction matters, because no other figure is described that way, not once. The records suggest a familiarity that borders on belonging, as though the Fade itself recognized him, responded to him, moved differently around him. What precisely that means, I cannot say, only that the pattern appears again and again. And then there are the spirits. Over the years, I have spoken with scholars, mages, and dreamers who deliberately walk the Fade. Many have never met. Many disagree on nearly everything. Yet when asked about Fen'Harel, they often describe the same thing. A silence, a stillness, a strange hush settling over nearby spirits when his name is spoken. Not fear. I know what fear looks like in the Fade. Fear is loud, erratic, chaotic. This is something else. One scholar described it in a way I have never forgotten. He said the silence felt like grief, as though the spirits remembered something they could no longer explain, as though they were mourning. And that is difficult to reconcile with the Dalish legend, because monsters are feared, they are hated, they are fled from. They are not mourned. Then there is the veil itself. You already know what the veil is, the barrier separating the waking world from the Fade, the wall that changed everything. The Dalish version of the story treats it almost as a side effect, something that happened because the gods were sealed away. Yet the oldest records tell a different tale. They describe construction, deliberate effort, planning, sacrifice. The veil was built. Someone made it. And building it cost something. The surviving texts disagree on exactly what, but they use a word that scholars still debate, a word translated either as sacrifice or apology. I find myself returning to that distinction often, because the two meanings are not as different as they first appear. The legend says the Dreadwolf abandoned his people. Yet one question refuses to leave me. If you intended to abandon your people forever, why build them a wall at all? One detail in particular troubled me. The gods sleep. This is a pattern repeated throughout history. Ancient powers become dormant, imprisoned, buried, lost. The world moves on without them. Fen'Harel does not fit that pattern. He is not described sleeping as the gods sleep, not beneath stone, not within forgotten prisons, not in distant darkness. Instead, he appears to walk. The records are scattered, incomplete, separated by centuries, yet they describe a familiar figure. Different names, different faces, different eras, but always carrying the same weight, the same sadness, the same sense of someone bearing a burden too heavy to set down. One fragment survives from an unknown source, damaged, incomplete. Its authenticity is debated, yet scholars continue to discuss it because of a single surviving sentence. It reads, "He called himself only a man who saw what had to be done and could find no one else willing to do it." I remember reading those words for the first time and thinking something very simple. Gods do not usually describe themselves as men. Then there is the question of the veil, the question that grows larger every year. The veil did more than imprison ancient powers. It changed the world. The elves lost something when it was created, something fundamental, a connection, a part of themselves. A betrayer seeking only destruction would not have paid such a price. He would not have built a barrier at all. He would have stood aside and allowed his enemies to destroy one another. Yet someone chose another path. A terrible path, perhaps. A costly path, certainly. But still a choice. And so I find myself asking the same question repeatedly. Why build a wall that seals your own people inside, alongside their captors? Unless the wall was never about the gods at all. One final account lingers in my thoughts. A traveller's report, written centuries after the fall of Elvenan. The traveller describes meeting a grey-eyed stranger. Nothing remarkable at first, until the stranger spoke of the elves. Not as history, not as a distant people, but personally, intimately. The account records two words: my people, my a simple phrase, yet strange in context, because by that point centuries had passed. The old world was gone, the people scattered, their history reduced to stories beside campfires. And still, someone spoke as though the loss remained fresh, as though the centuries between meant nothing at all. I want to be careful here. I am not telling you Fen'Harel was innocent. I am not telling you the Dalish are wrong. I am only telling you that the oldest stories do not describe the same creature. And whenever history becomes simpler over time, I grow suspicious, because truth is rarely simple. Only legends are. Perhaps the problem begins with the word trickster. We hear it and imagine deceit, manipulation, cowardice. But in ancient stories, tricksters serve a different role. They solve problems nobody else can solve. They walk roads others refuse to walk. They make choices others cannot bear to make. And because of that, they are rarely celebrated. The price of finding an impossible solution is often becoming the villain of the story. There is one account I struggle with more than any other. A brief fragment, little more than a description. It places Fen'Harel at the edge of what had once been Elvenan, not celebrating, not ruling, not triumphant, alone, weeping. The account offers no explanation, no context, no lesson, only the image. And I confess, I do not know what to do with it. I have tried for years to fit it neatly into the Dalish legend. It refuses, because villains rarely mourn their victories. Then there are the dreams, reports that appear across centuries. Mages, dreamers, scholars of the Fade, different places, different times, yet their stories echo one another. A grey wolf standing at the edge of a dream, watching, never attacking, never speaking, only watching. And when they awaken, they cannot shake the feeling that they were recognized. I offer no explanation, only the pattern, because sometimes evidence is more valuable than conclusions. I have spent much of my life studying the legends of Thedas, and if there is one lesson those years have taught me, it is to be careful whenever a story points too eagerly toward a monster. Stories like monsters. They simplify history. They give suffering a face, a name, a single figure to blame. Reality is rarely so accommodating, and the oldest things in Thedas are rarely what the stories claim they are. So we return to the curse, the one spoken by Dalish keepers beneath starlight. May the dread wolf never find your scent. Perhaps they are right. Perhaps Fen'Harel truly was the betrayer they describe. Perhaps history remembered him exactly as it should. Or perhaps the truth is more complicated. Perhaps both stories can exist at once. a betrayer and something else, a destroyer and something else, a monster, and perhaps a person who paid a price no one else was willing to pay. I cannot answer that question. The surviving records refuse to let me. But there is one final detail worth mentioning. There are mages, even now, who speak of a gray wolf at the edge of their dreams. It does not attack, it does not speak, it watches. And when they wake, they cannot shake the feeling that it recognized them. So I find myself wondering, not whether the dread wolf is listening, but whether, after all this time, after everything he unmade and everything he built in the ruins of what he destroyed, he is still searching for a way to answer for it. These are Veilwalker tales, and I will see you on the other side of the veil.